because it's a milestone release. Okay? I don't know exactly when 2.2 will be released, but I know that when it is released, the first step of clustering will be there. Okay, the first, and the primarily reason why it's experimental is about failure detection of nodes when a node is down, and making sure that all the failure messages get out. Okay, so that's the thing we're making sure is stable, and you'll see why later. All right, so let's identify the portions of our application that can scale out, that we can move easily and effectively. Okay, but before we do that, first we have to set up the Akka cluster. All right, so we add library dependencies. We already depended on Akka before. Now we just add a dependency on Akka cluster experimental. Hopefully when it's not experimental, it won't have the dash experimental. If you need to know whether or not it's experimental, it's whether or not it's called dash experimental. If you're in Maven, it looks a lot bigger. So, okay. After you do that, we need configuration in our system, our Akka config. So the way that Akka clustering works is you take an existing Akka application and add new config, and then it can be clustered. That's the goal of Akka. I can take a system that works on a single node, change my configuration, and all of a sudden it's distributed. Okay? Sort of. All right. So I changed my provider to be a Akka cluster ref provider. What this is doing is, if you saw before when I was sending messages and things to actors, there's a thing called an actor ref, which is essentially a pointer to an actor. I have to tell the Akka system that this reference could be someone local or someone remote. That's what that does. All right. Next up, I set up some logging and what my local host name is, which in this case I'm using localhost, and I'm just starting up 30